Honestly, if you would have told me when I was on Austin Alley, you're gonna play Jeffrey Dahmer, I'd have been like, no way. But anything's possible.
Former Disney heartthrob Ross Lynch is all grown up and taking on a much darker role, Jeffrey Dahmer.
I now present to you, Jeff.
Jeffrey. For this time, Jeffrey.
You're playing the high school version of one of the most infamous serial killers ever to live.
Essentially, My Friend Dahmer is based off a graphic novel of from Durf Backdurf, who actually went to high school with Jeffrey Dahmer.
Right.
And it was sort of his experience. He didn't actually obviously think that he was going to become a serial killer.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting story, yeah.
Jeff's a little off, you know? I think he's kind of hilarious.
It's very different from what we've seen you as. Was that kind of the goal in taking on this project?
It was definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't like the main goal, but it was a reason. The content matter was very interesting to me. The fact that it was a serial killer, and then obviously coming from Disney just kind of puts the cherry on top.
I like bones. It interests me what's inside.
How familiar were you with Jeffrey Dahmer's story? Because you were born after he died.
Yeah, I actually had no idea who he was.
Really?
Yeah. The script was like my introduction to Jeffrey Dahmer. I researched Jeffrey Dahmer kind of before I read the script. So I already had that in the back of my head, and that's really what makes this movie so powerful, because we don't see any, we don't see any murders, we don't see any blood. It's all about what's not being said.
Walk me through the process in preparing for this mentally.
I did a lot of research. What was really good is there's a lot of footage from Dahmer after he got caught, where he kind of walks you through everything that he did and why he did it. And that's really where I did most of my research, just because I like to watch him and kind of see how he was and how he moved and certain things like that. One of the things that surprised me most was how charismatic he was. That's really how he got most of his victims. He would go to these bars and he'd pick them up and then just bring them home.
I'm just like anybody else.
Ross is already getting rave reviews for the flick, but the 21-year-old isn't totally opposed to returning to his roots.
Teen Beach, is there gonna be a third?
Probably not. There's been no talk of it. Like, obviously, like, people talk of it, like,
Yeah.
but, not amongst, like, the actual people who made the movie. There's been no talk of it.
Okay.
So, I personally don't think that would happen.
What about an Austin and Alley reunion?
We had this joke for a long time on Austin Alley where we wanted to do, like, maybe like 10 years later, like an HBO special.
Yes,
where,
like an R-rated version.
Yeah, where it's like gone completely explicit, but we'll see. That honestly, I would be totally down to do that.
Would you?
Oh yeah.
What would you guys?
I really love all those people. They're really good people.